Good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. Thought I'd talk a little bit about this COVID variant coming out of Africa. It's got the markets pretty well lit up. And I have to think, what is it that the markets are thinking? Because the Dow dropped like 900 points on Friday. And from what I was reading, that's like the worst Black Friday in 70 years for the Dow, which is pretty extreme to think about. But I think, what is it that the markets are anticipating? I mean, are they thinking that the governments are going to go into these restrictive measures where they're going to try and, keep people from going out to the restaurants or traveling, or, only allow those with essential jobs to be open? So is it the markets, or is it that the markets are thinking this, and this is why they are kind of bailing out on the Dow and a few of the other positions that they hold? And I think, well, what is it that the Federal Reserve is going to do? Because really, it's the Federal Reserve who is in charge of monetary policy. And last time we had this pandemic and everybody was, or last time, I guess we're still going through it, but when the pandemic kicked in and everybody was panicking, the Federal Reserve fired up the quantitative easing. And now this is where they buy, assets. They're buying U.S. Treasuries and mortgage-backed securities. And they were buying a lot of them. I mean, to the tune of $120 billion a month, which is no small amount. I mean, you think about it, the entire Federal Reserve balance sheet back in 2007 was $850 billion. And now they would cross that over in just a matter of 6 months or so. They would cross 850 billion. 6-7 months is all it would take. So the Federal Reserve had gone into some extreme money printing. And what were they doing with it? They were buying those U.S. Treasuries and mortgage-backed securities. And the whole purpose of that is to keep the interest rates low. They were trying to keep the economy accommodative, right? So that people would take out money to buy houses and cars and just spend into the economy, right? It was, how do they phrase it? It was being, supporting households and businesses, right? I love this. Support means you go deeper into debt. That's how they support, because they really can't do anything else. They can only allow you to go deeper into debt. So somehow giving you debt is support. But anyway, that's what they did. They went into this accommodative or incredibly accommodative monetary policy. And now what that really is that the U.S. Treasury now has a market. They always have a market, but now they have a market where they have a guaranteed buyer of that market. And when you have a guaranteed buyer, that gives the rest of the investors out there the ability to have a lot more confidence in their purchase, meaning that they know that if they purchase this treasury, that there's going to be the Federal Reserve backing them. They don't have to wonder about what's going to happen. They know the Federal Reserve is going to be there. But now the Federal Reserve is talking about tapering, and they haven't actually, I don't think, have they actually started tapering? I mean, anyway, so they've announced that they're going to do the tapering. The markets are anticipating them doing the tapering, but then we had this COVID variant come out. So now, does the market think that the Federal Reserve is going to taper or not? I mean, are they going to actually cut back on this asset purchases? And I honestly think that they will. I think they will continue to cut back on the asset purchases. I think they will continue to ease back on the quantitative easing, and I don't think that they are going to fire it back up. And the main reason is that right now we have a lot of turmoil going on in the world, and a lot of these nations are worried about their sovereign currency. And now if you look at the extreme cases, boy, the wind's really blowing. Sorry, guys. If you look at some of the extreme cases like Venezuela or Turkey, you're going to find that these nations have abandoned their sovereign currency and have now moved into U.S. dollars. And this is what they're using for their everyday trade. That is something to consider taking place around the entire world. It's not every nation that can do it, but if enough of them start doing it, you're going to find where the U.S. dollar continues to go up in strength and on the U.S. dollar index like it has been. You're going to find that continuing to advance upward. So if that was to take place, where these nations around the world and the investors within these nations are nervous about their own sovereign currency and they're wanting to get into the U.S. dollar, they're also going to want to get into the U.S. dollar assets. Meaning they may want to get into our stock market, they may want to get into our real estate, they may want to get into the things that are invested in going to pay US dollars, because really they don't want to hold just dollars. They want something that's going to pay them. You want to get a return on it. So you're going to buy things that are going to be due in US dollars. That's where I see a lot of strength happening here in the United States, coming from a world, kind of scare, especially if the Federal Reserve decides that they are not going to get into the quantitative easing. Think about that. If they are not involved in that quantitative easing, you have nothing but the market involved at that point. And if you have nothing but the market involved because of this pandemic, or just panic in general, they're going into the safe haven. The Federal Reserve can basically walk away from it. And if it's enough of people wanting to get into it, then they can start raising the interest rates as well, because of the demand for those dollars and the demand for U.S. Treasuries. A lot of people say that they never can or never will, or it's impossible. Don't believe that stuff. Nothing is impossible. I mean, anything is possible. And I just feel that the Federal Reserve is going to stay on track when it comes to the tapering and it comes to the lifting of interest rates. Even if the pandemic starts kicking in, I still feel that they're going to continue on that way. Want to read some the mail to you guys. I had a couple of packages come in, and I tried opening the mail on another video, and I kind of screwed that up, so I apologize. So I figured I'd come out here and read the letter to you guys. Basically got 2 different packages here. It says, "Hi Simon, been a follower for some time. Love your channel and your openness and honesty. Great topics, and it gets one chuckling sometimes. Keep it up. A few stickers for my newer YouTube. Have a good day, bro. Jared." So thank you, Jared. It looks like it's Revert to Means. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. So go check out Revert to Means and let me know what's going on there and whether or not you guys like it. So there's one of the stickers. There's another one. So thank you very much, Jared, for the stickers, and thank you very much for the letter. I really appreciate these things. This is really what it's all about, is the appreciation that you get for putting the videos out there. I've said it many times in the past that I'm not out here trying to make money. The money is nice. It's nice to have that incentive. It's nice for the motivation that I get to do it. But it's letters like this. It's the appreciation. This is really what does it for me. The other thing I had received is a package, and I didn't get a letter or anything from it, but in this package were these little upholstery clips, and it's for pinning the headliner back into place. So I have a few of these that I need to put in, and thank you very much for the upholstery clips. All right, Uneducated Economist, you guys let me know.